Hello, friends. Welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. Just going to share some random stuff. I don't even know what I'm going to call this video, so I guess we'll see what the title is. I'm going to see how this kind of plays out. But I just grabbed maybe 7 things to show you. It's really kind of exploring the unique way of collecting. I feel like there's a handful of us out there that don't get too worried about the um, value of an item. It's more the chase of the can you find it. So some of these things that are extremely rare, scarce, just tough to track down, or just they're neat and unique. I'm going to show you a couple things that are very, very low cost and actually probably not even that hard to find, but they're different than what you see every day, which makes it interesting to me. So that's what catches my attention at this point. If I've seen it a lot, I'm fine with it. I'm impressed. It's still cool. It's classic. It's iconic. It's all the fun things. But I typically know I can track that down again some other time. So I'm looking at some items that are maybe a little off the beaten path. I'm going to share a couple that I picked up with friends in mind, hoping that they might be interested. So a couple of them are spoken for. They're duplicates in my collection, which is kind of fun, but if I find a deal, I'm always willing to snag and pass on if I can. So I'm going to turn it around and share a few things with you today. All right, friends, I'm going to start off with this one. I've maybe shared this. I'm trying to even remember. But we were pulling items for our kind of low pop game that Sammy invited us on, and so I was looking through different items. And this one is actually a very scarce item. I've got a graded version. I want to say there's 8 of them. I had never really seen them for sale, so it was in an auction, so that's why I say it was scarce. And then when I looked it up, I'm like, it's extremely rare as well. So I think there's 8 graded. Obviously, there's at least 9 that exist because I'm showing you one that's not graded. But when I saw this thing pop up, I want to say it was a buy it now, maybe. But I was able to snag it for a very small fraction of what my graded one went for. And I thought that was one that, if I have it in my collection as a duplicate, that's pretty cool that it's that tough of an item. But also if a friend wanted it, it becomes available for somebody that might be interested. So this one is spoken for. The Rogers Hornsby, I just wanted to show this again. Actually, I know I did show this once. It is definitely loved. One of the cool things with these, let's see if there's a way I can even get this close enough. Shows the exact date. This is an M101-7. M101-2 is probably my favorite set in the history of the world. So these are also premiums. These are also going to be, folded up and have some rips and some tape. So this would be, authentic altered if it were sent in to be graded. I'm a fan of not sending it in to be graded because it's fun to actually be able to see it and actually get your hands on what it is that you have. But for me, when I see things like that, I want to reach out and just snag it. And, if it works out, either I get a duplicate or a friend gets an item that I thought might fit for them. That's where this one fell. This thing is one of the just most iconic, awesome items in existence. So you look at all these different R's. R311 set is fantastic. R312, 1314. You get into the wide pen and fine pens, things like that. So if you're looking for something pre-war that's a little bit oversized and has some cool features to it, this could be a fantastic route and option. But this thing, you're getting Connie Mack and Lefty Grove. When I saw this going at auction, I think ungraded automatically gets less eyes, maybe. I don't know. There is a hole. There is a little pinhole, which bothers me zero. There's pinhole collectors. There's folks that look for, on the back you can see the holes even better. The back has some smearing, smudging, whatever, but that's pretty typical for these. I just thought the image, even the centering, everything else about it is really fantastic in my world. That's what I would expect an item from the 30s to look like. You have a 90-year-old, piece of history that you're holding, and whether it's been tacked up on somebody's board because they wanted to look at it, or it's loved corners, or some wrinkles and some creases. It's fantastic. So I believe this one's spoken for. I will confirm that, but I'm pretty sure I have a friend that is interested in that. So I thought that was fun. All right, I'm going to jump into some weird stuff. This one is taken out of a book, I believe. So this is not something you would classify as overly collectible, and it was nothing I paid for as though it was overly collectible. It was just something that was, some dollars. Definitely not even dozens. But it is a really cool image. So if you're looking to decorate, a room or a shelf or do something unique, it doesn't always have to be, $1,000 pieces or $500 pieces. You can find something like this that's more like $5. I think everyone probably knows I appreciate Mordecai Brown. So cool image of him. It goes through who all the players are. So he's number 1. Rolbach is a pretty good player. Got a couple others like this that have Frank Chance and Evers and Tinker and other players from that time frame and era, which I think is pretty neat, which kind of ties me into another one I've shown before. But if you do want to dive in and do something a little more extensive, team issues are generally a way to get a heck of a good deal, even if it is something like this, these Hammond postcards. V.O. Hammond Publishing. Mordecai Brown in the upper corner. So if you look at who all's on there, Brown, Rolbach, next to the end in the back, Steinfeld, Frank Chance in the middle there, Schulte, I think I've heard mentioned a few times there. Walsh, there's Evers in the front, and then you got Tinker on the end. So I think I count them in right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So Frank Chance and Johnny Evers are lined up completely, and then there's Tinker. And then you got Mordecai Brown. You have 4 Hall of Famers for not a crazy big ticket item. So I've had that one for a little bit. Postcards, I actually enjoy when they have been sent. How cool is that? So I've shown that one before, but I wanted to revisit that one because this is the fun of thinking this way. You end up tracking down another similar item, and I will say I did not track this down. This is the beauty of community. So I shared the couple, and this isn't necessarily just we hear the critique, it's content creators for content creators. That's not true at all. It's friends for friends. Some of these are folks that are not channel creators, sometimes just being out, being willing to record some stuff. You end up having folks reach out to you. So I've got probably 3 or 4 folks that I text with on a somewhat regular basis that are, haven't taken the jump to create a channel, but they're regular folks that watch, engage, email, text, have commented. So you have to make some friends that I might not even know what they look like. Some of them I've become friends with on Facebook, and we're truly real life friends, not just social media kind of stuff. But this is one that my friend Doug came across. I think it was a Net 54. And he said a guy was selling it that he knew, and he showed me the price, and I said, yeah, it seems like a really fair price. I don't know if I'm in the market for that immediately, but yeah, it is. I looked at it again. I was like, that is super cool. And he said, I think he's got a little bit of room on price. And I said, well, maybe. I've got a couple somewhat big things I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to be careful. You watch the pennies so you can have some dollars, kind of thing. And he finally just wrote back and said, hey, if you want it, I ended up getting it for this price. And I was like, geez, that's that's insane. You got it for that price. He got almost like half off of what I thought was fair. So he said, if you want it, it's yours. And I said, well, yeah, that's crazy. Of course, this fits me perfectly. Thank you so much. What an amazingly kind gesture. So I went ahead and refunded his purchase, and he sent it to me even before I paid him. So what a just great human being. Can't say enough about your friends that look out for you like that. So the Cubs Championship 1906 National League. So it goes through who all's in there, and again, taking a look at the list. Brown is third. That's definitely Mordecai Brown. And take a look who else is on this one. Taylor, Schulte, Steinfeld. The second row, you got Schulte, Hoffman, Steinfeld. So the one that has a little bit of writing over it, Frank Chance. A little bit down from him. Got Overall, and then Evers. And the third row, Fran, Walsh, McCormick. You got Tinker on the end. What's really cool about this one is you can see folks behind him. I just think this is fantastic. Love stuff like this. It just feels like you're holding history. And again, on the back, the way I like it, it's been sent. That was sent on October 6th. Stamped October 5th here. I'll hit some different places. 1906. How cool is that? So, amazing piece to add. Super happy to have that. All right. Last two things. I'm going to get back into the why collecting some unique things is fun and cool. I'm going to share a picture of this because I've actually been to the bowling alley, which is one of the reasons I'm a big Nellie Fox fan. But this was a cutout, probably from a paper. It was, not a big dollar thing. It's more like $12, not dozens of dollars. But it's in nice shape. It probably is truly well aged. It's not like it's a recreation or something. It's probably original from way back. Most valuable Fox. So what's neat, if I can bring this in close enough, Nellie Fox, Marion, Pennsylvania, features 20 AMF bowling lanes with automatic pin spotters for bowling at its best. That bowling alley is still there. I have been there. So that's one of the just really neat connections. So a cool write-up. It's got the picture, most valuables. It's got, obviously, he won MVP in '59. Back of it is just, newspaper or wherever it came out of. So I thought that was just so neat. Just something different. Cool image. Cool little write-up. And then along those lines, I'd bust this out again. Nellie Fox Bowling Alley, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. That is mostly what it looks like still. Take a drone out there. Give me an updated picture of that. That'd be fun. So this one's not been sent, but actually, yeah, that just talks about who printed it. Thought that was cool. So that is kind of a weird, wild, random collection of things to throw at you, but covered some ground, some some budget-friendly stuff, some crazy stuff for some friends in the hobby, and some crazy stuff from friends in the hobby. So a little bit of everything. Oh, I guess I can toss this one in there too. That's it. I will catch up with you guys on the next video. Take care.